In this video, I'm going to show you how to pull up your personal transits in a list view using AstroSeek. So rather than the usual natal chart that we have in the middle and then the outer wheel with the transits, this is a way to get actually a list of all of the transits affecting you personally using the free calculator here on AstroSeek. So I'm here on just the AstroSeek homepage. And I'm going to the tab here, the very first tab that says free horoscopes. And then I'm going down to transit chart calculator. So this is the same tab that I've showed before in other videos where you can do your birth chart calculator or go down and do traditional calculator. So it's right in the middle here, transit chart calculator. So we're going to click on that. And then in this list of these options where it says optional transit calculators, we're going to click on personal transit calculator. This is a really fun one. I've only discovered it recently. Then what you're going to do is you'll put in a natal chart here, and I'll just type in anything. We'll go with this. The only thing I do here that I would recommend is I do change the house system to whole sign. So again, whole sign, that's just one house per zodiacal sign. They're not split across signs, that kind of thing, like Placidus, so whole sign. So I would do that. So you're here on the screen. We clicked on personal chart or personal transit calculator. We typed in our birth information, and now we're hitting whole sign. And there's some other things you can do with these options, but I'll show you on the next page. So here we go, calculate, and look at this. This is so fun. So these are anytime there's something happening with a transiting planet, like planet in the sky as it is right now, interacting with your natal chart planet. So I'll click on what we're used to seeing over here. So this is what it normally looks like. The natal chart in the middle, the transits on the outside. So instead of having to look at it, like from this way to get a sense of what it is, you can actually have this lovely list view. I think it's lovely. I really like it. Now this is a lot of information here, and this also has the outer planets. It includes sextiles, all of that. So you can have it be less information. So you can change aspects that you want to see. So you might not want to see sextiles and trines or some extra things. So you might want to just click to conjunctions. And conjunctions, you definitely feel those the most. That's when the planets are basically right on top of each other in your chart. And then also you can change this part here in the drop-down menu where it says to natal all planets. You can do all 10 planets or all 10 planets and the angles. Now that's going to mean things like the descendant, the ascendant, the midheaven, all of those. Those are the angles, the 4 angles. And if you would prefer, it also has the traditional astrology option, the Hellenistic astrology, where you're just looking at the 7 visible planets. So it's not going to include the outer planets, the 3 outers. It's just the 7 visible planets. And you can do that plus angles. If you go down here for house cusps, that's basically just going to be ingresses, and ingresses, as a reminder, that's when a planet is entering a sign. And so every time there's a planet that's going into a new sign, that's going to show up here. So you can make a list view of that. So May 10th here, for example, Mercury went into Taurus. And in this chart here, the sample chart that we made, that would be the 8th house. So that's pretty cool too. It also tells you what house it's happening in. And if you want to get a visual of it, you can click on chart. That's what the ingresses look like. You want to see here what the conjunctions look like with the angles. So you'll have circles around it when it's the angles here, and then it lists the planets. And this can be useful too if you're not as familiar with the glyphs, because even though they're showing these transiting planets over here, up here over to the right, it also lists the glyph and the name of the planet kind of side by side. So if you need a little extra help remembering what the glyphs represent for the planets, that's up over there too. And again, it shows what house it's happening in your chart. The other thing, if you kept going down, you can pick more, specific things, if you want to just see, midheaven. If you want to see objects, that's down here too. If you want to see when something's happening with the nodes and such, a specific planet. But I think even if you just did all 7 planets, whole sign conjunction, that's a lot of information. So anyway, this is a really fun tool that I've only recently found out about here on AstroSeek. Again, who doesn't love your transit chart calculator like this and a traditional wheels? Because again, with this one, you can scroll down on that date and you see what's happening, but that's just on that date. And you can also animate the chart. So if you want to see what's happening on the next date, you do have this option here as well, which I love. So in the drop-down menu, you can go from minutes to years, if you want to calculate and go forward and see what's happening later. You've got this animate feature over here, but there's something kind of fun if you're wanting to track whether it's conjunctions, if there's another aspect that you want to see, but if you want to get a sense of when is something happening specifically to you or to your chart, you can find that here. Because again, as I say over and over, just because there's a lot of chatter on it in social media or that kind of stuff, it may not be affecting your chart that much, or it might really be affecting your chart a lot. And pulling up a list view like this can be another really fun option for seeing what's happening in the sky and how it's interacting with your birth chart.